many of you in the room currently own a smartphone? Well, did you know that 96% of the American population actually owns a smartphone? This makes smartphones one of the most popular electronic devices that help people stay connected to the digital world. Good afternoon, Dr. Council and fellow classmates. My name is Thomas Avila, and today it is my honor to inform you about the use of smartphones. Today you will learn about how smartphones came to be, the services it provides, and how it affects our society today. Now, according to an article by Science Note, the origin of the smartphone could be traced all the way back to 1992. You see, the Global System for Mobile Communications, or GSM for short, established a common network across Europe. It provided users with uninterrupted service, even when they had crossed borders. Now, the first of these phones that they made was the Nokia 1011. It had introduced one of the greatest forms of communication, text messaging. Now, following up in 1994 brought the creation of the first smartphone. It was called the Simon, and it was created by IBM. Now, this here, as you can see, is the phone itself. It features a stylus and a touchscreen. Now, it isn't your typical smartphone, I know, but it did allow one to send texts, emails, and even faxes. It included a digital calendar, a clock, and even an address book, and that's all some of the stuff that you might find on an iPhone today. Now, as some of you may already know, it wasn't until 2007 when Steve Jobs had introduced the first iPhone, and this was a very important achievement because it was the first smartphone that featured a full touchscreen display and allowed access to the internet as well. It allowed people to connect to the digital world without having to use a desktop. Moving on, smartphones allowed us to connect with each other across the world. So what came next? Well, social media is what came next. It was implemented in the form of downloadable applications for all. Apps like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter allowed us to connect with millions across the world at a moment's notice. Now, to put it in perspective, in 2010, Instagram was released to the public. It was a new social media which could be downloaded from your phone, and you were able to upload and share pictures as you wanted. The app allowed you to keep in touch with friends and even make new ones. Now, since the majority of the population had smartphones, businesses and entrepreneurs saw it as a platform to actually expand or connect directly to their consumers. Smartphones were now a tool in which you could create or even learn from. Now, people with large followings on any of the aforementioned applications were actually able to profit from their accounts by commercializing products of their own or from other businesses who reached out to them. Now, teachers and students were also able to implement smartphones into their educational plans. According to a research study by Sungkwon University in South Korea, a team of researchers looked onto college students to see how smartphones would be incorporated into their studies and to see if it had a positive effect, which it did. They found that sources such as ebooks and virtual learning systems had a positive impact much more than traditional printed books. They also found that the college students preferred mobile computing devices, including smartphones, as effective technologies to help them interact more and collaborate with each other by offering social media, web tools, and other internet tools that could better their studies. Now, the use of smartphones and technologies had a positive impact and view towards learning for students, and with that in mind, you could probably assume that it had a positive impact on academic performance. Smartphones were introduced to society as a connection for people everywhere. They provided so much use in fields such as education and social standards as well. And I hope you have all learned a little more about the history and the creation of the smartphone and its uses today in society. Thank you all for listening.